Hi, this is Dr. Fab Mancini, and I'm so excited that you chose to be here with us. I want you to know that this is a difficult time, and yes, I do know it's a difficult time. And I know that also difficult times is what allows us to grow. It's what allows us to define ourselves. And I think that this is a time in which you can also do the same for the better. And as you know, I've been bringing to you some of my most influential friends in the world to kind of share with you some insights and wisdom about what you can do during this time to be more constructive, to be more creative, to actually make some decisions that are different than the decisions that got you to where you are today. Because maybe where you need to be tomorrow is not here. So that's really what this is all about. And I have a dear friend of mine that I wanted to bring to you because she has one of the most inspiring stories that I've ever heard, but also she has a big mission, and a mission that can also impact your life, and that is Mirelas Sula. Hi, Mirela. How are you today?
Hi, Fab. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm great. Thank you. How is everything there?
You know what? Everything is great because I have chosen during this time, and yes, of course, my businesses were impacted, my life was impacted, but I have chosen to actually make this time a time to create, a time to give,
Yes.
a time to have a bigger impact than I've ever had before. In fact, I was telling a lot of my friends that I feel like I got my mojo back because I work at my best when the need is the biggest. And I don't
That's
think that
true.
we've ever seen a need like this. But let's talk a little bit about you, Mirela, your history. I want you to share with us a little bit about your story as to where did you come from and what led you to this great mission that we're going to talk about in just a minute.
Thank you, Fab, again. As everybody, when we we start feeling that light and that little voice inside you talking about everything that you wanted to do but you never did, and this is how everything started for me as well. When I find myself into a situation that I just see that I'm not where I wanted to be. And then this is where you start clicking for finding the right direction, the right path that guides you to the purpose that you feel you are connected. And yes, it started by asking, what is my purpose in life? Why I haven't found it yet? Why I'm not following it? Why I'm not where I wanted to be? And it's always by asking the right questions to yourself. And once I started to ask these questions, then I had to take some actions, because then when you receive the answers, the next thing is that you have to start doing something, because if you are not happy where you are, then you have to move if you are not a tree. And this is what I did with myself. I said, hello, you are the owner of yourself. You have to take responsibility. You can't blame anybody. You can't blame your past, your childhood, your parents. You just have to take responsibility. And this is what I did. I decided to move to London. It was 8 years ago. And it was not easy. It was really tough decision, because you mentioned before that you have chosen to do this, right? And this is where I prefer to be all the time. I want to be in a place where I choose to be. I don't want to feel that I'm forced to be there, or I'm forced to be with somebody, or to go in a direction that I don't want to. If you choose that direction yourself, then even if you see that there are consequences, because everything is a cause and effect, then you feel that you take ownership of that as well. And this is what exactly happened. I moved to London with nothing, with a teenager son, as a single mother. Only you met me in the very early beginnings. And I was feeling a little bit like insecure, because, moving from a very small country with in total 3 million population, then you move to a big city with like more than 10 million population in just one city. You don't know anybody, you don't have enough savings, you don't have a job, you don't have a secure place to stay in the country, and You have responsibilities for your son, for his future as well, for your studies, for everything, and you feel like, oh my God, I've done this choice, but uh, I I hope I've done the right choice. I've taken the right decision. So that was the very, very beginning of my story. But I was very sure before having this conversation, I was running a mastermind class with my community, and I was talking a lot about purpose. And I was saying, tell me if you already know your purpose. They say, yes, 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 yes. But it's not just about finding your purpose. It's about how you expand your purpose. And how do I test if you know your purpose? The way I test is like, if, for example, you are facing any challenge and you still stay still. If you stay loyal to it, whatever happens to your path, whatever happens to your journey, whatever tests you're going through, you still say, yes, whatever I'm experiencing, I know I'm in my path. I have to stick with it, and I'm going to find a solution, because we know that already. If a challenge has arrived, has appeared to you, or a big problem has appeared to you, the solution has arrived before the problem has appeared. So that is the mindset that I started to put myself when I was, facing all these big problems. You have tried yourself this experience as an immigrant in a new country with nobody, with no connections, with no idea how you're going to pay the rent next month, and then you're thinking about a big vision, and then they say, are you crazy? And they said, no, you're not crazy. So this is the story where I kept telling myself, you are here for a big thing. You are here for a big purpose. You are here for arriving. You are not here to give up. And I'm so glad that at least I have arrived to that point, that I enjoy my journey a lot. Now I have built a global movement, and I have built a global community. I'm very grateful that I have women who have trusted and have been part of this, and the business is just giving me such a big satisfaction, because I'm in the position of having a choice to give, to contribute. Because as me and you, we know very well, we can't be happy by just having money only, or by having success. We want fulfillment, we want significance, we want to contribute, and that is what gives us that emojo back, and gives us that adrenaline to wake up in the morning and say, what's up now, what's next, I want to do more. So this is where I am now.
I wanted to ask you that, and thank you for sharing that, because right now I know that there's a lot of people that their lives were disrupted, just like your life was disrupted. And maybe they don't have complete clarity on the mission, right? So for you, did you know exactly what you were going to build before you moved to London, or you just knew that it was going to be a global movement that will impact the lives of many, many people?
That's a very good question, Fab, because you don't need to know how you're going to get there. So everything that I kept doing, and I keep doing, after I felt that big vibration inside me, and I had a breakthrough. It was an internal breakthrough. It didn't come just from one event or one incident or one person or one book, or it was a journey of moving and moving and moving until I see I'm not the same person anymore. And I I was so scared when I started seeing myself into a global platform. At that time, I was in a very small place, and this is how now I talk a lot. I was sharing with the other mastermind. I was invited to speak at the Houses of Parliament, UK of Houses of Parliament, and they say, we as women stand where we sit. That's why it's very important that we choose the seat. Because if I want to stand for a global movement, I can't stay in the village. I mean, it's okay, but I can only stand for women in my village. But if I want to stand in a global movement, I need to find a seat. And I said, this is my seat. I want to come and speak in the UK House of Parliament. I want to be able to come and meet you guys, and to go and meet influencers, and meet experts in the world that can kind of equip me with the strength to handle my vision, to handle my purpose. It's not just about having a vision, because the vision can reach us. Of course, it doesn't reach us without a reason, but then it's up to us how able we are to take ownership of our purpose and our vision. What do we do with it? How do we turn it into a contribution? How do we turn it into a benefit for other people as well? So at the beginning, all I was able to see was like, I see I'm here for a big thing. It's something bigger that I think I'm here in this world. No exact, but I knew I was going to work with women because I was always passionate about standing for women's rights, seeing how the rights of women in my country were always not taken serious. And I wanted to stand for my mother's rights, for also for a lot of other women that I started to see that it's not just in my country. I started traveling a lot. I saw it's the same. Everywhere I go, I sit and speak with women, even if you're going to Sweden, or you're going to Scandinavian or US or UK or these developed countries, you sit and you see these women crying. These women have been abused or have been feeling down for a long time and unable to get their power back. And I just felt like this is not just one country or one woman, it happens everywhere. So, and then once I had that vision, I felt like I had to take ownership of it, and I had to do whatever it takes to do it. And that's why I always ask, if you want to follow your purpose, if you want to achieve success, then ask yourself, what am I able to give away? What I'm able to sacrifice to do it, whatever it takes? Like, for example, I was saying to the lady, said, you want success? Yes, you want it? What if I say to you, if you want success, that means that you have to take the microphone and you have to speak. It's not about, oh, no, I don't like that. I said, hello, you want success? You have to do it. So I was not comfortable to speak, but somebody told me, said, you want to have your purpose? Yes. Then you have to get yourself to speak in a big stage. I said, no. And then you stay. If you want it, you want success, you have to go and speak in different media, or you have to take that camera and do these podcasts and go to put yourself in social media and tell other people, what is your purpose? Tell other people what you want to do. Tell other people what is in your mind. Share it. Because if you don't share it, then forget about it. Nobody in this world, in this planet, has achieved success alone. So that's why it's very important that first we have it as a purpose, and then we take ownership of it, and then we do whatever it takes to do it.
You know, I love that you mentioned that, because I know that there's a lot of people there that have heard that little voice and that have felt the passion, but somebody else has talked them out of it. And we see that all the time. Maybe your parents, your husband, your wife, your friends, they kind of say, well, I don't think you're going to be able to do that, or I think you're living in the clouds, or get back to reality. And I know that that's an issue. So owning that purpose is very important, because I have found in my life that at least 9 out of 10 people usually try to talk me out of my dreams. At least 9 out of 10. And those are usually friends of mine, family, because they just don't see what I see. But let's talk a little bit about during this difficult time, because not only has your life been impacted, you do big events, you travel all over the world, you lecture all over the world, you're helping your chapters, which are all over the world. So what are some of the things that you did in order to respond to this disruptor that you feel has been very positive? Or maybe some of the things that some of your members have done, or maybe a story or two of how they responded in a way that now they're doing better than they were doing before the pandemic.
First of all, we have to make sure that if we start something, we better make we better make a plan, and 2 plans, or plan B, C, D, whatever it takes to complete it. Otherwise, you better don't start it. And I always say, if you plan to start something and you don't finish, you better don't start, because if you start something and you don't complete it, you are creating a habit of failure. So how do we create the habit of success? By starting it and being determined that I'm going to finish this marathon, whatever it takes. Because it's very easy to be disruptive, or disruptive is the easiest thing, but it's going to definitely be um, like a normal thing to happen, that on the way, you're going to face a lot of challenges, you're going to face a lot of obstacles, a lot of struggling, a lot of battles. And one thing that I have realized, especially women, but men as well, but women more, is that we allow our personal things to interfere into our professional journey or our career or in our business. And for example, I was taking an example. I had a client, and she disappeared for a while. She invested to get enrolled in a course. I was calling her, I was emailing her, and I said, what happened? That was like last year, just before the COVID. And then one moment she just calls me back. I said, oh my God, are you alive? What happened? And then she started telling me that I had this and I had that, I had this and I had that. I said, yeah, you're not telling me anything new. I had that as well. I had that as well. And not only me, but hundreds and hundreds of women I meet every day. They're going through that thing, right? So, but that does not mean that you should stop what you started. How in earth you allow yourself to intervene so bad into your purpose, that little thing? That, because it depends how you call it. It can be little if you see it little, if it can be big if you see it big. It's not the event that impacts us, it's the meaning that we put to the event. It's the way we see the event, the way that we react to the event. So that's why we have to equip ourselves as leaders. If we really want to do something, we have to do it. Otherwise, you better don't commit. Because this is how a lot of people create the habit of failures. By they start, oh, it doesn't work. I go back. Probably my parents or people that told me it doesn't work, they were right. Probably it's the idea, or if this kind of thing doesn't work, we blame other people. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to test. You have to give the evidence that you deserve to get the results of that thing that you have started. How you get the results? By finishing it, whatever it takes. You of course, we are going to have a lot of moments in life that we feel bad. Of course, people ask me sometimes, they said, do you ever feel bad? I said, yeah, hundreds of times. But then you feel a couple of moments and you have to pick yourself up, and you have to make sure that the feeling bad thing is not going to keep you stagnated and procrastinate for things that you already started before. And you have to make sure that it's your responsibility that you reach your destination, and you don't allow yourself to fail, whatever it takes. I mean, when I mean to fail, of course, sometimes we may have things that don't go the way we want, and we learn. That is like a lesson. But with this, I mean, if you are, for example, if you start, let's say, writing a book, or if you start I don't know, a movement, or if you start a project or an initiative. So you can't leave that in the middle of the way, because there are other people involved with you as well. You can't show that. Otherwise, you have to just accept it. It's not for me. I'm not going to aspire to become what I wanted to become. And that's okay. That's fine. But not everybody is going to be a leader. But if you already want to be a leader, it doesn't matter, in a small group of people, even if you in your family or in your community or in your neighborhood, you have to show by example. And how you show it by example? By staying loyal to it, whatever it happens.
You know, it's interesting, because I know that there's a lot of people that right now are making new decisions to do something different. And I know that can be scary. I've been there. I've had 3 careers, 3 different industries in my life. And I always felt like I was starting fresh. But the reality is that we never start fresh. You take all of the lessons and experiences of the past,
Yes.
and you're going to bring it into a new environment. but you're going to succeed much faster if you stay with it, if you trust yourself, if you believe in yourself. And I think that's very important. The second thing that I think is very important that you said to remind people is that no matter what the circumstances, you can either make excuses or you can say, I'm not letting the circumstances define me or define my project, my business. I'm going to pursue it. And the reality it is, doing circumstances, that's sometimes where you need to create a new product or a new service that will fit perfectly to the people that you are serving. This is the time where you get creative. This is the time where you actually can expand your business and now do better than you were doing before. Do you have maybe one story, Mirela, or somebody, one of your members, one of your clients that have actually turned this negative moment into a positive moment and now is doing well? Because I think you have so many amazing clients and members that are so uplifting. And of course, you guide them and you share all your love and wisdom. But I have met some of them, and I'm just so impressed with the quality of people that are part of the Global Women Movement. But one story briefly that maybe people can put this into the context
Absolutely.
of reality.
During this time, especially when we realized that we don't have an option. This is not going to be a 2 weeks thing. It's going to be more than 2 weeks, as they told us. Then I started running a lot of courses and also creating some groups of women so they can keep each other accountable. And I remember one of the groups we had a target. We put a target to write the book in 48 hours, an ebook. I said, ladies, this is how it works. I know you can do it. It's only 5,000 words. This is the structure. We worked it together, and some of them, they were sweating. I said, are we going to commit? After I told them all the lessons, if we start it, you better, don't mess it up. If you start it, everyone in this group is going to finish. If you think that you can't do it, don't worry, move from the group, and we work together. Group, we're going to make sure that everybody starts together, we finish together. And they were like, oh, okay. So I remember one of the ladies, she told me, she said, but I have 2 kids in the house and I have a small house. I don't know where to write the book. I mean, it's really hard for me. I don't have a space where to do it. And she committed on the day that we agreed. And the day after, because we were working, like I said, we are going to commit 48 hours. And the day after, she comes to the group. I said, hi, ladies. And she also sent a video in the group. I really don't want to let you down. I feel so bad because I really want to do it. I know I can do it, but I don't have the space. It's like this COVID. It's like my kids are like spinning around all day, and they're young, and I don't have that corner where to write the book. And I said, I'm sorry. You committed. I don't care. You are going to find it. I know if you go and find that little corner and meditate, close your eyes, find a way, call, ask for a solution. Because if you committed, that means that you know that there was a way. Otherwise, you would never commit. I don't know. You know it. Let's find it together. But we can help you. But you know it. You know what? Guess what she did? She went to the car because she said, I'm not allowed to go out. That was the problem. She said, I don't mind if there was a bar or a restaurant or I'm allowed to go. I'm not allowed to go out. Where do I go? In the house, I can't do it. I'm not allowed to go out because it's like, it was strict. If you go out, you get penalty. Said, look, it should be a way. I don't know. No pressure, but it should be a way. And we can, guess what she did? She went to the car. She went in the car. And she was doing videos and pictures in the car and the papers, writing down and everything. And then she did a video crying. Said, I did it! I feel so good! Oh my God! I can't believe it! I did it! I stayed until 12 o'clock midnight in the car, and I did it. And guess what? We were like, not only her crying, we became all emotional. It's not about just writing a book. It's about committing. Now, guess what? She knows that she can do whatever it takes. And she can find solutions. So this is a very emotional moment that I have experienced. I mean, I can tell you a lot, but this was very recent. And then she published the book.
Yeah.
Very soon. So let's what we do now. Let's keep going.
You know, it's interesting because sometimes we need someone to believe in us more than we believe in ourselves. And you do that so well for all your clients and your mentees. You know, you have this global woman mission. What would you say would be the one hope that you will have that through this mission you can impact the world?
Say again your question, please.
What would be the one thing that you feel that through this mission, if there was one thing that you would say, the reason that I'm doing this is with the hope that this mission of global women will impact the world in this way, what would that be?
You know, Fab, we come from a culture that, first of all, women didn't support each other that much. The past generations, they didn't aspire what we aspire. I mean, it's very, very new what we're experiencing right now. It's a very exciting time, although what we're going through is not that exciting. But it's our generation is creating a completely new era, a new culture, not only by aspiring bigger things for ourselves, but also by supporting each other, by being genuinely there for each other, by being very, very authentic when we really, really want to support another woman. So I have started to see this like it's a very emotional phenomenon happening, because for a long time before, I didn't believe that it's going to happen soon. I knew one day probably things will change, but I am seeing this every single day in front of my eyes happening. All these groups of women that I'm part of. I mean, within the global women community, we have a lot of chapters, and I see they really, really genuinely support each other. All these groups now, we are online. They don't let anyone in the group to be behind. They really want to. They are also women. They just commit, and they give their time, whatever it takes. If they see another woman that is like struggling to reach the goal or the target, that is one thing. Real support, and it's happening. It's not washy. It's not fake. It's real one, and I see it. Number two is, for the very first time, we are seeing also this generation of women aspiring to create their own wealth, to create their own independence, to create their own finance, because a lot of studies are showing that if there is a fear that women face every single day, is that what happens to me if a major crisis comes to my life. If a divorce can happen, we know a lot of women are those who go through a lot of struggling, more than men. Or if they get sick, or if they get retired, their biggest fear is that what happens if they end up being homeless. So that's why it's time right now to start thinking, how do we gain that financial freedom, and also learn more from each other, that we have the rights, we have the birthright to have our financial freedom, and to make our own money, and not rely to a man. And if something happens, then we end up being with nothing. And this is a fear of many women. This is the voice of many women is not coming only from my own experience, which I experienced when I moved to London with nothing. And I had that fear, like, oh my God, what if I end up being homeless and I have a child to look after? And that is not only my fear, it's the fear of many women that are working really hard, are doing a lot of, having a lot of hats, and they're still thinking, do I have security for my retirement? This is what we want to change. We want to change, number one, women supporting each other. Number two, women gaining their financial freedom, because they have worked all their life. And if something happens, they are protected, and they feel secure, and they feel that they are not alone. So that is the message, and that is what I want to spread in the world, to create this movement where women can feel safe and also can contribute. Because if you if you educate a woman, you educate the whole community. If you help a woman, you help the whole community, because women are those who give all the time. And I want to see that happening more and more.
Well, I love that you mentioned that. It's because I have been privileged to know you. I know your passion, I know your values, but I also been privileged to get to know some of your members. And I recognize the value that many of them come from different countries, different languages, different cultures, but they all have similar values in the pursuit of wanting to become something greater, recognizing that there's more to them. And Global Women does that. It brings you out when other things, maybe you didn't have that support system. So with your permission, I'm going to put the link for individuals that are watching this. And I hope that you would just click this link right now and learn more about this amazing movement that is really changing the way, not only women, because there's men that are there too, but that how women can perceive and see themselves. I said earlier that sometimes somebody has to see in you more than you're seeing in yourself. Mirela's vision is she sees in you so much more than you can ever imagine, because she knows it's possible. She's seeing it with her own eyes. People that come in with low self-esteem, not a high purpose, but something inside of them saying, I can be more. And then all of a sudden they get in this group, they get to feel that support, that love, that encouragement, and all of a sudden now they're doing it. So I want you to click here. I want you to go there. And if you feel that it resonates with you, be a part of it. Because I can tell you that being a part of this group is going to empower you. I mean, you're in a global movement. There's chapters all over the world. But more importantly, in my opinion, is you get leadership like Mirela. And that is one of the greatest gifts that you will get by being a part of that. So Mirela, we're going to run, but thank you for your time.
Thank you, because it's getting dark here, and I'm holiday and I'm in my balcony, so it's not enough light, but yeah, I'm so happy we did this conversation. You are doing amazing, and thank you for the contribution that you are giving, because we need men like you. We don't want just women talking about women. We want men who believe in gender women empowerment. So we are very grateful to have you as a role model, and I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much. And for those of you that are listening, watching, if you like this, please share it. Share it with those around you. Share it with your friends, your family, because there may be somebody out there really hoping to hear a message like this that could be life-changing. And thank you again for tuning in. I will see you in the next one.